Hey, what up? This is Aaron Sands, and this is King Talk. Let's get smarter.
What's up, world? This is the Chief Malimal, long live the Chief, and you're tuned into King Talk with Mr. Aaron Sands. Don't go nowhere, baby.
King Talk, yeah, that's me. What up, everybody? It's your man, King Talk Sands, and we are back at it with another one. You already know what it is. Usually I say when it's Friday, it is King Talk, but nope, we doing it for Memorial Day. Hopefully everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend, got a lot of rest, ate at everybody's barbecue, drank up, smoked up, had a pretty great long weekend. But as I always say, when there's time to chill, there's time to work, and we are working right back at it with another special Road to Season 3 episode of King Talk with Aaron Sands. And today, we definitely going to talk about a lot of different issues across the board. First things first, we talking about, the recent shootings that's been going on in the country from Buffalo to Texas. Also, we bringing back a popular segment in our during the specials called Social Moments, where we take a clip or a post from our social media sites and we discuss it and we get our thoughts and reactions based on those posts. And finally, we're going to end with some King Talk thoughts about podcasters in the space working together and trying to become one and not beefing all the time. But first things first, I want to get some announcements out the way. You usually I save this for the end of the show, but I'm going to get this out the way now at the top. You already know what it is. If you're in the New York City area, you trying to turn up with your girls or the bros trying to turn up and pop bottles, check out Taj Best Saturday Party. That's at 48th West 21st Street between 5th and 6th. Say premiere at the door. You already know what it is. We out here every Saturday. No vaccinations needed. Come through, pop bottles, take shots with your man Sands. You already know what it is. Also, check out all of the other podcasts that is connected with King Talk. We're talking about Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, conversation about music, the Old School Show, of course, the Premier Boys Podcast. Also, we got The Bridge coming up, and we got Conversation with a Star with Roddy Rod coming up. The Brit coming up all soon, so be on the lookout for that. Speaking of The Bridge, I just happen to have one of my favorite guests for King Talk to pull up through so far. He's been pretty much working doubles between the Old School Show, the previous King Talk special. He probably pulled up to an open mic by you. He probably pulled up on one of Ken's older episodes. This man just been out here non-stop working. And right now, I want to bring him into the fold as we talk about all of these topics that's going on in America right now. We talking with Long Live the Chief, the Tribal Chief, Malimal. You are up. Let's get it.
Yo. First of all, phenomenal intro. Thank you, man. Second of all, what's up, world? We back on King Talk. This is one of my favorite places to be all the time because the talk is always going to be straight real. Like we're not getting no sugarcoating. We're not going ODPC. That's why we're going to ask for your support in this mission. But you always get real straight talk when you talk to a king, and that's why I'm always going to do my best to be available when it's time for this King Talk to go down. So Sands, you already know, got my deepest appreciation for even allowing me on this show. I'm ready to go. Long live the Chief. The Bridge is coming soon. Give us 3 weeks.
Woo!
Out here, baby.
Breaking that.
3 weeks. It's 15. That was the date. We're gonna stick to that date, even though y'all know I'm always late, but we're gonna stick to that date. Let's go.
Okay, you heard it here first. King Talk. Bridge coming up June 15th. You already know the vibes. Check us on all streaming platforms. We about to kill the charts yet again. Another chart killer. But before we get into the bridge, we're going to get into the main topic. The main topic right now, even though, yes, we are celebrating Memorial Day, celebrating the troops Fleet Week is on and popping here in the city. But I also want to send. I think this weekend is also another dedication, and honestly, I want to dedicate not only this this Memorial Day, but this episode to everybody we lost from gun violence with these mass shootings, whether it be in Buffalo, LA, Tennessee, or just in Texas with them kids. I want to dedicate this episode in particular to them. You know what I'm saying? There's a quote that I came across as I was doing my notes for this particular episode, and it's actually from the Bible. I rarely ever quote the Bible, especially on pod, but this one stuck out to me. And it said, it's coming from Matthew 16:26. Jesus asked, "What does it mean to gain the whole world but lose your soul?" Right? Now you're probably wondering, Ron, what does this got to do with the school shootings? I'm glad you asked. So before we get into the quote, we're going to get into what happened between Buffalo and Uvalde, Texas. So basically, 2 weeks ago, a gunman walked into Buffalo, New York, and a New York supermarket. Buffalo being like about a good 3 or 4 hours from where I shoot King Talk with Aaron Sands. He walked into a neighboring supermarket and killed 10 people. Oh. You know, it was all, like, for the most part, all the people that was killed in the shooting was of African American descent. So it was definitely viewed as like a race related shooting. You know, fast forward 2 weeks later. We have, the Uvalde shooting out in Texas, where actually clear before he went to shoot, went to the school, shot up the school. He actually shot his grandmother in the face.
Wow.
A lot of people didn't know that, but he shot his grandmother in the face, and apparently due to those injuries, she may never speak again. Which is really unfortunate. Then after that, went to the school and then shot 19 students and moving like 17 other people at Robb Elementary School. Eventually, the police was able to get in, and then, after an hour, for some reason, apparently it was an hour after he was in the school and, doing his stuff, doing what he was doing. An hour later, the police actually came in and then handled and eventually deleted the shooter. So, looking at this, having everything go down, and I'm looking at how this is played out, especially with the shootings and the kids that we lost and these shootings that have been going on. I want to pivot to you, Alvin. What's your initial thoughts when it comes down to these shootings?
My initial thoughts shocked me, because I don't count myself as, a hardcore type of dude. I'm not your big gangster. I'm not your big thug. I love people. I want to help people. I believe my mission on this earth is to serve people in some way, shape, form, or capacity. But when I heard about the shootings, my brain said again. And that's why it shocked me, because it was less uproar. It was less acrimony. It was more just like I'm almost getting to a point where I'm apathetic towards it. You understand? And that was my first thought. My second thought was like, nah, we really need to see what's going on. But I realized my first thought was that thought just because the conversations that are going to happen after this, they're going to be the same conversations. You understand?
Yeah.
Oh, we should do more gun laws. No, we shouldn't do more gun laws. Yeah, we should do more gun laws. No, we shouldn't do more gun laws. Nothing happens. More people get shot in schools. More people get shot in malls. More people get shot any place that public people gather for almost no reason other than the fact that a gun was put in the hands of somebody who's somebody who's deranged. right? And then it got me thinking, well, what's my actual perspective on this? I'm a single man. I don't have kids of my own, but I have literally 13 nieces and nephews. You understand? So, like, it matters to me. 13 nieces and nephews, a few spiritual ones, all of this thing. So it matters to me what happens in these situations. And the problem is, and my brain is just like, oh, it just keep happening. It keeps happening. It keeps happening. Well, maybe it won't happen here. Now it's happening in New York. Well, maybe it won't happen in Brooklyn. Well, Brooklyn got its own problems. It's like, what are we looking for now? Like, what can we do to make this not a problem? Can we actually try some stuff that's being tried in other countries where this is not a problem? Can we do that?
And see, this is where it comes into, the politicians for me. You know what I'm saying? Because you're right, absolutely right. We hear the same things. We hear, hey, this needs to be stopped. Hey, something needs to be done with this. Hey, kids are dying. You see Columbine. You see Sandy Hook. I felt like the problem with this country in particular, which makes it different from the Swedens, the Chinas, the Norways of the world, where gun violence isn't even as big as it is here. They have different systems in place to not only circumvent that, but to also rehabilitate the people that's doing it in question. You know what I'm saying? The jails are more helpful to people are committing crimes, things of that nature. So when you see the politicians keep talking about, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, da da da. And when I'm looking at the numbers, you look at the numbers for gun violence in the country, it's looking pretty crazy. Between now and mass shooting, we're halfway in the year. We're June 1st is pretty much on Wednesday, right? Right. Mm-hmm. We're halfway through the year, and we already had we had 229 mass shootings, according to gunviolencearchive.org. 229 mass shootings, 149 children killed between the ages of 8 and 11. That number damn near goes up times 5 with the number of teens killed by guns at 525 between the ages of 12 to 17. Now, guys, politicians keep telling us, hey, we gotta stop gun violence. But then when something goes down where they can't stop gun violence, everybody want to point the finger. For me personally, at this point, when it seems like it's okay for kids to just get shot at schools, when it's okay for a 9-year-old to sit there and cover blood off a falling kid onto her face, and then having to play dead for a kid so that way she don't get shot. You know what I'm saying? So that way she don't be another casualty. So for us to then in Capitol Hill to be like, oh, well, we can't get it done because of this group, or we can't get it done because of that group. At that point, I'm like, yo, everybody in Capitol Hill just needs to go. Everybody.
Boy, say that again.
Everybody in Capitol Hill needs to go on both sides. If this is some shit y'all can't get right, I could understand about budgeting and things of that nature. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy to have a budget, to pull a budget together when you got two sides wanting different things. You know what I'm saying? But
and when you're dealing with a country of millions of people's money who also want different things. Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're dealing with something that should be a simple layup, this is a layup. You don't want kids getting shot in schools. Okay, let's come together to put together a bill or some type of legislative that could prevent gun violence in schools from happening. Not to take away people's guns, just so that way your nieces and nephews don't have to worry about getting shot at PS 305. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you can't handle those easy GED layup type of situations, then everybody need to go. And then
you gotta say it. You gotta say it right, bro. Say your catchphrase. Say the phrase. I'm waiting for you. Say it.
Well, you talking about you expect me to say the U.S. government fell off?
No. The other one you got.
Hold on, I got one. They definitely fell off. Let's be clear. You know
that's a big fact. But I wanted you to hit your packet the fuck up.
Oh yeah, they definitely gotta pack it the fuck up. Wrap it up, pack it up, do what you gotta do. Alright? Because think about it like this. If January 6th was okay with you, then yeah, you gotta go. If niggas run it up in your
pack it up.
Pack it the fuck up, bro. If you're okay with people coming up in your office with guns, smearing shit on the walls of your office, you know what I'm saying? If you're good with that, pack it up. If you like with kids getting shot in the face and shit during English class or during recess, yeah, you might need to pack it up too. You know what I'm saying? And I say okay with it when you're seeing a situation and when you're not doing nothing, and when you're seeing a situation and you're like, oh, we can't do nothing because of this party, or we can't do nothing because of that party, or we can't do nothing because these people are in the pockets of another organization that happens to like guns and shit. So,
listen, hold on. I want to cut you right there. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut the host. But, listen, even the game of politics, I understand at a level, because it's all about trying to figure out how to talk your way into a situation that works best for everybody involved, that we can move forward. That's what politics is in general. But if you are voting for a politician that cannot understand and refuses to make an action based on politics about something like this, you're part of the problem, and that politician is definitely the problem.
You gotta get them up out of there for that. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because one of the stories about the Texas situation really that broke my heart was the fact that, besides the fact that 9-year-old having to play dead in someone else's blood just to not get shot, that's
horrible.
That's some shit you only need to do for war.
Literally.
When you're in war and you're up shit's creek without a paddle, and you ran out of bullets and you're trying not to die, so you gotta smear fucking blood and poop on you or whatever to portray like you're dead, so that way you don't actually be dead. Yeah, that's some shit you'll say for Afghanistan or Iraq. You know what I'm saying? But not for recess, bro. Not for gym class. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if y'all can't figure that shit up on that way, pack it up. But another story that kind of got me a little messed up about this whole situation was the fact that one of the teachers, she was one of the teachers at the elementary school, and she ended up dying in that whole gunfire situation, right? 2 days later, her husband ends up dying of a heart attack. We know that was from a broken heart.
That's so messed up.
Keep in mind, that couple been together, married for 24 years. My heart sincerely goes out to that family because, I know we all lost loved ones, whether it's just me, you, Malik, or anybody who's listening. I know we lost loved ones, but no matter what the situation may have entailed. But at the same time, we still feel, we still feel that loss. And in some cases, that loss is so monumental that we don't get to really move. We don't really get to move forward and go on, And I feel like that's what had happened here. And honestly, that shit could have been avoided on all fronts, between the police finally getting there in an hour, you know what I'm saying, or Congress trying to figure it out. There's a lot of different situations that could have been avoided where, the kids did those. All of that loss shouldn't even happen.
Oh my God, the situation in Uvalde was the more I hear about it, the more infuriating it becomes. Literally, the more I hear about it, the more infuriating it becomes. There's no redeeming qualities about what happened down in Uvalde. None. I'm gonna calm down. I'm not gonna get too hyper. But understand me when I say there is literally no redeeming quality about what went down in that small town, in that small Latin town in Texas.
It's not. I look at the politicians that has the power to actually put something together to change this for the better, you know. And it brings me back to a quote that I opened up the show with. What does it mean to gain the whole world but lose your soul? You sat there, you went for these people's votes. You marched and did all of these things just to get the vote of the people that you need to get to that seat that you are currently possessing, you know? And did all of that. You get the money from that. You get the power from it. You get everything that comes with that position. But now when it's time for you to actually show and prove why people pick Jazz there in the first place, you know, you go another way for whatever reason, whether you're brought off or whether, you know, you answer to somebody else higher than the people that put you in there. Yeah, they gain everything. But I feel personally, they lost their souls when they let these kids lose their lives.
I actually agree and appreciate with that sentiment. Yes, you got to some of the highest power in the land. You have the power to protect these people because that's literally what you do. Protect. Like, you put in the laws that allow the cops to protect and serve, right? If you're not doing, if at this point, because at this point is an activity. We're not calling it anything else. At this point, it is inactivity. It is whoever trying to sell whatever votes to whoever, talk, and literally doing nothing. And only one side is happy that we're not doing nothing until their kid gets shot. Then it's upsetting. But we're not going to talk about it. But if you are sitting in office and you and literally hundreds of other people can't sit down and say, okay, we have the power to try to protect people from these things, try to protect children, the youth from these incidents, and we're just not going to do it, you lost your soul. You sold your soul to the devil. And what is your recompense? What did you sell it for? What is on that bill of sales? Was it worth it?
Listen, I could name off top, there's 5 countries right now that have close to 0 firearm related deaths per 1,000 population, right? Mm-hmm. Like Canada, Australia, Japan. Mm-hmm. I mentioned Norway earlier. United Kingdom, Great Britain. At least on the low end, they have little to no gun violence. What can we learn from those countries, right? That could severely lower our rates. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a friend that's from the UK, and she tells me, listen, we don't really do the guns over there. We poke, we stab. You know what I'm saying? Have machetes and things like that, you know? Right. And I'm like, yeah, I can understand that because, sometimes it gets personal. Y'all don't do guns, but, it's personal when you stab somebody or you slice somebody, Mm-hmm. You get up close, you see their eye, It's a lot to that, My biggest issue, right, is the lack, because I feel like it's not that we don't know how, to sit there and figure this out. Because I feel like we as a country, we were able to do great things as well as the fuckery we've been known for over 400 years. But,
right.
We were able to also do great things as well. So I'm like, all right, bet. It's not the fact that I always say it's either you don't know or you don't care, And with the United States, I feel like they don't know because they don't care, I feel like it was okay when Sandy Hook happened when we seen how Sandy Hook played out and nothing was done after that, I feel like at that point it made it okay for kids to die in schools. Like that was a solid point.
Listen, this inactivity goes all the way back to Columbine, bro, which people know as like the first mass school shooting. And then, like, let me put it this way. That school shooting was spurned by a couple teenage kids who got guns from places. They just got guns. If you remember the story, Eric Bolton, I can't remember the other kid's name, don't even care. He's in jail where he needs to freaking be, or whatever the case may be. Are they in jail or did they kill themselves? I can't remember.
We could do a fact check on that.
Okay, I got the computer up. Columbine. Victims. There we go. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, they killed themselves.
Some coward shit.
Yeah, they murdered 12 people, shot 21 plus the 12 people that actually died. 12 kids, 1 student, so that's 13 plus 21. So in all, they shot 13 plus 21. In all, they shot 34 people, and then themselves. At the time, that was the deadliest school shooting in history. We just experienced a school shooting that outdid that by a bunch. We've experienced that since. So my point in bringing up Columbine, right, is Eminem said this. Now it's a tragedy. Now it's so sad to see this happening in a middle class city. Right?
Uh-huh.
Middle America, look where it's at. So I want you to think about what he's saying. Basically, nobody cares that poor kids in the hood shoot each other from time to time. They'll let it happen while they're building a case for years and years and years against a whole other set of people that aren't involved, that are obviously using these kids as pawns. Right? But now the shootings are happening in middle America. They're happening in small towns. They're happening in places that affect the power structure. And nothing is still being done. The question is why? And this question is twofold, bro. Why is nothing being done, even though now like it's happening so much in places where you figured they would care? You figure the systemic build of this country would care. Why is nothing being done?
I could give you a fair assessment of the why.
Give me one, because I got an idea too. Give me. Come on.
A lot of these guys that's in office, which is part of the reason why I say the Capitol needs to pack it the fuck up, is basically because a lot of those guys in those seats are bought and paid for, by folks like the NRA. And this one might get me canceled here, but fuck it, I've beat cancellation once before. Let's run it up. Yeah. So basically, the NRA, right? They buy their politicians and sit there and protect gun laws and make it like, people are just trying to take their guns. Nobody will ever try to take your guns in the Second Amendment. You have the right to bear arms. Side note, completely unrelated. It's funny how when we're talking about right to bear arms, we're only talking about people of a fair complexion. But when people of a darker complexion show up to gun ranges and gun shows, we get that like, wait a minute, what? Especially when we have better aim than a lot of youths. Let's be clear. But anyway, yeah, a lot of these guys are brought and paid for. So now you ask how come they don't care that it's in middle America. It's not that they don't care that it's in middle America, because people are speaking about it. You know what I'm saying? But they don't, because they care about that money and those fundings a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Elections come up almost every 2 to 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And every 2 to 4 years, you got to defend that seat like a WWE Unified Championship match. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you got to understand, your constituents you got to convince your constituents to vote for you, you know? And in a lot of these states, you know, people put money behind these guys, you know, behind certain, to where, hey, we're going to put X amount of dollars behind you, X amount of dollars in ad revenue for you so you can win, you know?
Right.
And they take the money because they'll be dumb not to, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, especially in the Midwest, in the South, they win those elections. Now, we can talk about redlining and gerrymandering on that side too, but that's another conversation for another day. But basically, they get that continued, they make a lot more money in the funding from private companies like the NRA and like, you know, other places of that nature, of that group. They make more money from them than they actually do doing the jobs that they got voted into for. So let me ask you, if I funded if you had something you wanted to do, and I was like, yo, I'll fund it to the point where you'll make more money by me just funding you than you doing your actual job, would you really want to do your actual job?
That's the thing. No. Absolutely not. Why would I do the job here when I'm being paid more to make money in a completely different capacity just because I'm here? I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do because you are making sure me and my family eat and eat well. And then I'll take what I'm getting for actually having the job and add that on.
And that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. So yeah, this is a horrible situation. My thought, I'm gonna pull a politician move real quick. My thoughts and prayers are with the families that are involved in this situation.
Hold on, let me say that too, because I need everybody to understand that even if my mind is it's hard for me to like absorb negative things and become negative behind them, but I do pray for everyone's comfort in this time of loss. Like losing a kid, losing multiple children, losing your wife, losing your husband to a senseless murder that came out of nowhere it will destroy your psyche. Like, how many of those kids you think were miracle children? You know, the situations where the doctor were like, oh, ma'am, you'll never be able to have kids. Oh, sir, you'll never be able to have kids. And they got themselves a little Bobby Hill. And now you send your boy to school and now he doesn't come back home. And not for a good reason, not for a crazy reason, not because some intrusive invader came and they're trying to take over the world, they're trying to take over America. Not because of that, but because of a combination of mental health being overlooked and people just not caring enough to do anything about a problem that's been persisting. People are not caring. So between mental health issues producing deranged white people in middle America, yeah, it's y'all mostly. Sorry, I don't want to be that. Yeah, I do want to be that guy.
Yeah. Typically, most of the mass shootings, I would say the only one that was really done by us was the DC sniper, and that was
we had the DC sniper, and we had that military dude that went postal, and we had the dude that went postal. We had those three.
Y'all got everyone else.
Basically, y'all got Dylan Ruth. Y'all got Eric Claiborne. Y'all got the Aurora shooter, the guy that thought he was the literal Joker. That guy was out of his mind. You got the guy that shot up the parking lot with that in Arizona that had the congresswoman in it when he shot the congresswoman directly in her head. She survived, but a 9-year-old little girl who had nothing to do with anything died.
On top of that, you got the Oklahoma City bombers. You got the original Columbine shooters. You got the crazy looking Sandy Hook shooter.
The Sandy Hook shooter.
You got the Pulse nightclub shooter.
The Pulse shooter, yeah.
What else? Like, what more do you want?
How many times we're going to keep going through this? And since we talked about certain shooters, I said Dylan Roof, right? Dylan Roof is probably one of my most despised shooters, and that's saying something because I despise them all deeply, but I despise him specifically because for two reasons. One, he went into a church. He sat through that church service. Get this. I need everybody to understand. Dylan Roof sat through a church service, said out of his own lips, "Man, everybody in here treated me so nice. If I wasn't here to kill him, I wouldn't have killed him." Basically, he literally said out of his lips, "Everyone here treated me nice. I almost felt bad about doing it, but I did it." So you went to a church, got treated nice by the black people in there, but you had already written your manifesto and came to do what you came to do. Shot up that whole church. Not only did he killed 9 black people, including a congressman who was just there doing for a service. You know, he was just there going to church. He wasn't even on a political agenda. But here's why I despise Dylan Roof more. Here's why I also despise the Buffalo shooter. They took Dylan Roof. They arrested him. They gave him a bulletproof vest to make sure that he wasn't shot on the way to jail. They fed him Burger King. He didn't have to snitch on nobody. It was him, and we got video. We can see it was him. You caught him. He wrote a book telling you that he was going to do it and why. That is what a manifesto is. When somebody loses their fucking mind and writes a book telling you what they're about to do and why, and then go do it. That is a manifesto. So he has a written confession. He just did it. You're seeing the evidence that he just did it. Why did you need to serve him food? They served him food in that South Carolina jail. Burger King. Now look at the stats of how many black people have been shot at traffic stops with no weapons on them. Look at the stats of how many black people been shot up in their homes with no weapons on them. We still talking about Breonna Taylor. Let's say her name. She was asleep and had nothing to do with it, and the cops were at the wrong house.
She was up there.
She's dead. Let's go even further. There's a 4-year-old little girl. Same situation, but even less to do with it because she's 4. She's dead. Was asleep in her bed, never woke up because the cops came in there and shot up the place without thinking about it.
I bet her favorite on fries.
Right. Every cop all of a sudden is worried about their well-being when they see a black person. Yet you went out of your way to overprotect and make a young murderer feel comfortable after murdering 9 black people, including a congressman. You see how cops go when you kill a cop? You see how hard they go? Or when a cop dies or when a serviceman dies? Let me tell you a little story. I don't mean to dominate time. But a couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine, she got really sick and she went to Brookdale Hospital out here in Brooklyn, right? But at the same time, a giant fire happened in Canarsie, and a few firefighters got injured, one got killed, right? Rest in peace to the firefighter. This is nothing against the firefighters or anything like that. Please don't take it that way.
Yeah.
They shut down the hospital. I couldn't go see my friend who was also potentially dying. Thank God she didn't die, but she could have died. You understand? They shut down the hospital. I couldn't see my friend, but there was 5 fire trucks, 18 different cop cars, and like 4 different ambulance vehicles all surrounding the building. You understand?
Yeah.
For one firefighter. You see how hard they go for their own. And while I'm like I'm saying, this is no hate or anything. Please don't take it that way. I know this may not be the coolest thing you want to hear, but this is true. They go so hard for their own. But this black congressman who is technically a part of y'all own You took somebody who committed murder against a public official and fed him food. Why? But now, I said all that to say this, my main point. Sands, you said one of the reasons why nothing has changed. I'm going to tell you the second reason why nothing has changed. You ready?
Let's go for it.
Nothing has changed because of the thing that we said earlier. We could only list, what was it, 3 or 4 mass shooters who were black?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we count the guy on the train from a few weeks ago in Sunset Park too. Let's call it even 5, right?
Let's say 5, yeah.
Let's call it even 5 out of the thousands of times this has happened since 1999.
Fuck 1999. We're just talking about this year. We're already at 230, and we're literally at the halfway point of the year.
Nah, because if we only talk about this year, he's the only one that was black. And the Uvalde shooter was Spanish, and he was one of the first ones of those too. So if we only count this year, I can't cut them no slack. I'm trying to cut slack. So let's go back to 1999. We got 5 shooters, and if you guys listening can name a few more, send it to us. We'll talk more about it. But I want you to think about the volume of black shooters versus white shooters, and that is the reason why nothing will change. You know why? Because these young white kids picking up guns and going and shooting up schools for reasons of their own mental derangement. I don't really care what your upbringing is. I don't really care about any of that. Once you pick up a gun, you go into a classroom and you shoot up 9-year-olds. I don't care. You're mentally deranged. You deserve to be put under a place or dead. Period. Sorry. That's just it. No sorry. Period. Right? But these are white kids. So the politicians that are in office at mass, these kids are their kids. They look like their kids. They look like they're crazy ass kids that don't listen.
And that's why
Mm-hmm.
not to go off, but that's why like when it comes down to a lot of that, especially during when it comes down to these situations for mass shootings, you have a lot of the politicians, they'll come out and be like, oh well, he was going through a mental breakdown, things like that. So a mental breakdown allows you to then shoot a kid in the face. A mental breakdown allows you to shoot your grandma in the forehead where she can't speak no more. A mental breakdown brings you to a supermarket up in Buffalo, walk around case the supermarket one day, then come back a day or 2 later and then start busting shots. When you see white people in the same space and you're busting shots, you're like, oh, my bad. I didn't mean to shoot. Aim at you. And then continue aiming at people that's a different complexion than you. Then you want to like, oh, that's a mental thing. That's a mental disability. It's not a mental disability. It's an incapability to sit there and do right by the people that surround you. It's an incapability for you to sit there and not be a monster and to treat people with respect, even if sometimes you get the short hand of the stick. That's life.
It is. That's it. That's it right there. Now think about this, bro. I need you to think about this. Hold on. Let me make a real quick comparison. Think about this shit. It's a mental. They're calling, because fuck all that. I've never had a mental instability. I've never seen too much mental instability that comes with written books of why. That comes with research. That comes with secretly figuring out how to gather weaponry and things when you don't have the age or agency to get them on your own. When the amount of work, the amount of focus, the amount of desire, the amount of will that it takes for some of these kids to have, like, if you heard the Columbine story, this is in the infancy of the internet. These kids went out of their way to secretly get guns. Dylan Roof went out of his way to secretly get stuff, joined a bunch of white nationalists, Aryan Nation, Nazi type forums, things like that, figured out what he needed to get, wrote a book. We're not going to get over that because the Buffalo shooter wrote a book as well. Telling you exactly what he wanted to do and why. That is not mental instability. That is hate. That is a demon. That is horror. That's not it. Yeah, there's a level of derangement to it. Yes, definitely. Because where else? Right? But This was planned. It was premeditated. This person went out of their way to make sure they did it exactly the way they wanted to do it. We're not going to keep calling it that unless we are trying to protect that people or that class of people, and that's what's happening. Because at the same voice and in the same breath that oh, it was a lone shooter, he had mental issues, he was this, he was that, mental this, mental that, in the same breath, they are actively deriding our people whenever there's a shooting around here in our hoods. Black on black crime, super criminals, super predators. We were called super predators by multiple different sets of people who told. Give me a second, because like as I talk, I get angry, and I'm trying to make sure.
Let me jump in real quick, guys. Yes, you get your thoughts together. I just want to get some last. Honestly, I want to get some last thoughts about this.
Wait. Let me finish this sentence, and then I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
We were called super predators by the group of people that tell us to vote for them. In fact, our current president right now, the guy who said if you don't vote for him, you ain't black, in 93 was calling us super predators, pushing for harsher legislation to put us essentially behind bars. Richard Nixon went out of his way to attack black people with drugs.
Let's not leave out the FBI while you're here.
The FBI, let's
as arms that try to vilify our leaders. Whether it be from Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, to the Black Panthers, to even Billie Holiday.
Tupac was getting letters from the FBI.
Yeah.
No, Tupac had a file in the FBI. Two freaking Pac. Which means in 1994, they were still trying to make sure we didn't have anybody to look up to in order to break the idea of black unity. In 1994, the FBI itself was founded to stop black movements. So after the success and then the subsequent destruction of places like Black Wall Street and Tulsa and places that across the country that have been mimicking that success, they developed the FBI under Hoover. Developed the FBI in order to stop black people from not being terrorists, right? But in order to stop us from gaining any type of consistent, unity, any type of consistent growth amongst our people. They did that to stop us, and they were successful. And the crazy thing is, they've been successful for the last 80 freaking years. Everything that the FBI and then later evolved into the CIA has done to stop black people have worked to spite black people. It has worked like a damn charm.
Hey, not to cut you off, but what gets me really upset when it comes down to that, and it gets me upset with our people. I'm going to segue. We're going to kind of gear over to the second topic as we before we head over. I'm upset with our people too. Like, we got everything going against us. You know, when it comes down to those type of agencies trying to shut our stuff down, you know, or having a history of shutting our stuff down, as you will. You know, and when you're facing all of this adversity, one would think like, all right, you know what? We really might want to get together on this shit, because there's no way for us to continue growth when we're split up. If we work together on these issues, we'll be able to have a better outlook, which means we have a better result. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of this falls on us too, because we don't stick together as good as we need to be able to get the outcomes that will be able to benefit us and our families. So yes, while it's true that you do have the FBI, you do have the CIA, you do have all of these other organizations that are specifically designed to keep our people at a shorter level than our counterparts, you know, the onus is also on us to be able to continue working together, and that aspect to build another Black Wall Street, to build a Tulsa, to build a Black Wall Street, to build a Rosewood, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, but I hate that rhetoric. Finish what you're saying. I'm gonna tell you why I hate your rhetoric.
No, go ahead.
I hear you, but I hate that rhetoric. Why would I hate that rhetoric? Because everything you said is sound. Yes, despite all of the setbacks, Black people should still be in a place where we want to work with one another to build this, where we want to get towards one another, where we don't inherently distrust one another. But why I hate that rhetoric? One, because you're talking about undoing 400 years. I mean, 4 centuries, going on 5 of trauma that was purposely inflicted to put us against one another, right? Where we have no culture to go back to understand that we should trust each other. We just have to be here in this space where a lot of us, like none of us that are here, even if like a guy like me, I have Southern roots, right? I'm not a Caribbean person. So my people came right here on the boat, right here to South Carolina, those areas and all that started. I don't have any roots to those original set of people who are the original set of my bloodline. Don't have any. I live in America. That's what I know, right? That's one. But 2, have you ever heard about the experiment with the monkeys and the banana?
I might have. But for our viewers, you be kind enough to share?
I will definitely indulge, right? So the monkeys and the banana. So what happened is they put 5 monkeys in a cage, right? And they gave them a ladder in there. And what they would do, they would dangle a banana just above the ladder, right? So the monkeys, they're like, well, we like bananas. Let's go get the banana, right? Every time any of the 5 monkeys climbed to get that banana, they would get electrocuted by that ladder. Okay? So every time these monkeys want the banana, they're getting electrocuted by the ladder. And that happened so much to the point where the monkeys stopped trying. Right? They stopped trying completely to get the banana. But wait, there's more. What they did they slowly switched out all of the monkeys one at a time. So now there's 4 monkeys in there that has been electrocuted and 1 monkey in there that has never been electrocuted. And what they did, they stopped electrocuting the ladder. So now they dangled the banana. The 4 monkeys who's been electrocuted multiple times, they said, no, I'm too smart for that. We're not doing that. But when they saw that 5th monkey try to get it, they actually attacked that 5th monkey to keep him from hurting himself.
Crab in a barrel. Right?
But see, we talk about crabs in a barrel. Jay-Z had a great line in a freestyle he was doing. Crabs in a barrel. Who the fuck put the crabs in the barrel in the first place? Right? So think about this, right? So that 5th monkey trying to get the banana, now his people are attacking him. Why? Because they know he's going to be hurt if he tries to get that banana. So they're knocking him down. They replace another monkey. So now there's 2 monkeys in this cage that have never been electrocuted, right? And 3 that have. So the next new monkey is now like, why are y'all not trying to get this banana? Let me go get this banana. He climbs the ladder. The other 4 monkeys, including the second monkey who had never been electrocuted before, beats up this monkey to keep him from climbing this ladder. They replaced the 3rd monkey, the 4th monkey, and eventually the 5th monkey. So now none of these monkeys have been electrocuted, but every time there's an attempt to climb that ladder, the monkeys would jump the newer monkey to the point where now, without any consequence that they actually understand, there is absolutely no attempt from any of these 5 unelectrocuted monkeys to climb this ladder. They're not even trying anymore. I say all that to say this. I want you to think about Black people's history in America, and let's not even think about slavery. Let's think post-slavery, after Reconstruction. Let's go back to Tulsa, since it's one of my favorite topics to talk about, not because of what happened, but because of what happened, right? Tulsa, Oklahoma. They said, we don't like Black people. Get out of our towns. Go do whatever. Black people got out of their towns, built the town better than any town that they had around. What did they do to that town, Sands?
Oh, they burnt that shit. They told them to pack it up, and they burnt that shit to the ground.
Burnt it to the ground. In fact, they were one of the first people that ever used a plane in a terrorist attack. They actually hit Tulsa with the early airplane.
Oh, so they were 9/11 and before they were 9/11, basically.
Yes. But let me mess your head up. Tulsa, Oklahoma was not the only time that happened. Far from.
There's been a few incidents like that before Tulsa, and I think many more after, because they seen that Tulsa worked so efficiently. They were like, okay, that's gonna be the norm for all towns that are, owned and operated and incorporated from Black people.
Right. Now think about this. I'm trying to give you an actual number though, right? Because that happened in Tulsa. People rebuilt. They went other places. It happened in other places. You mentioned Rosewood earlier. It happened there. Motherfucker, it happened in Harlem. They burnt Harlem to the ground 6 different times.
Shout out to Seneca Village.
Say it one more time.
I was saying shout out to Seneca Village, because that was us too.
Right. 6 different. Do you understand? They burnt the same place down 6 different times after we rebuilt it 6 different times.
And you know what? It's fucked up when you look at it, because it's like, all right, yeah, I get what you're saying about it. Granted, I understand, like, oh, well, even though we try to build something up for ourselves, they kept burning it down. But
we're not even done. We're not done. Hold on, because I understand what you're saying, and the thing is, I still agree with your sentiment. I still fully agree. Yes, regardless of everything that happened, we're survivors, so we're supposed to mentally survive and still get back together and fix this. Right now, now in 2022 is the best chance we've ever had in the history of ever to right these wrongs. But the problem is, now we're dealing with the monkeys who've never been electrocuted but know enough to beat down the other monkeys. Because every time we got somebody, every time we elevated somebody, every time we got behind somebody, every time we pushed, every time we had a leadership and a force, you mentioned it earlier. We talked about Dr. King, the Panthers, Malcolm X, all of these people. What happened to them? Who took them out?
FBI, CIA.
The government did what they do. They cut off the head of the snake and let the body waddle to the ground. The MOVE movement, they bombed the government. We bombed a housing project in Philly because Black people were living there who didn't like the government. Not because they had done anything in that moment, but because they were living there. And they knew, and they had a lookout for them. They had an APB out for them. They bombed it and told the firefighters not to put out the fire. So you tell me how easy it is for us to just get together and expect it to work.
I'm not saying like it's not going to be easy. I'll tell you this right. I'll tell you this first and foremost. This is probably going to be one of the hardest things that we ever undertaken. Being the fact of the history of how everything went down, and the people that we do have, there are certain people in our own groups that are kind of like the ones that Harriet Tubman would have probably left or shot.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, that is definitely going to be a hard task to undertake. At the same time, you also said, being the fact that we're in the best time ever in the history of ever to even to actually get together and make movements like we did in 2020. We're in the best space to do that. Especially now with social media being a big thing. A lot of things that we put up with in the past. Yeah, we're still putting up with it, but at the same time, there's more outreach now than ever,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's been a lot that's been going on that over the course of 400 years that will definitely set us back. But at the same time, we still have the capabilities now more than ever to sit there and at least put up a fight,
Yeah, we do. But we also are. That's another reason why I don't like that rhetoric, bro. Because after all that negative conditioning against our own success, negative conditioning against our own people, negative conditioning against our own hair. You see my hair right now? Y'all can't see it. Y'all can't see it on the podcast. But my hair is a type of hair that would have been called nappy. I wanted to grow my hair as a kid. My people told me my hair was too nappy. Made me cut my hair all the time. Now we're in a place where black people love their hair.
Yeah. Not only we're loving our hair, we're embracing it and we're making it part of us.
Right. But imagine
individuality.
But imagine what you're going through mentally if you have to relearn how to love your hair.
Like that's like the small, like that's not. I'm not saying it's a small thing, but I'm saying that it's the steps that we have to take. Granted, I'm not saying if we do this today, by August 12th, we'll be able to have full liberation of our own selves. This is going to be a situation where we're long gone. Not only we're long gone, but our kids are long gone. But after a certain point, we will be able to sit there and get to that point. But one, we do gotta stick together. We do sit there and we gotta work with people that is willing to actually be serious and make those steps with us. It's a really big deal. It seems like a really large task. And guess what? Not everybody's going to make it across with us. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine.
And that's okay. That's okay. Fine. As long as we're able to get to that one common goal that we're all reach, I think we'll be in a good position to sit there and be like, nah, fuck that. Fuck these government niggas. They can eat a dick. We're doing our own thing too. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So but here's the thing though, and this is my one last little pushback on that. We are as a whole, black people don't give even themselves enough credit for what's actually happening. We focus on the fact that I live in Brooklyn. I could go outside and see black people fighting at any given point in time, right? I could see turn on the TV. There's always somebody getting shot for some reason. Recently, a friend of ours just lost a friend of his to senseless gun violence, all of that stuff. But on the other end, we got people like David Shands. We got people like Professor Kezia. We got so many people. We got people like Big Crit. Is that Big Crit? No, sorry, Killer Mike.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about though. Yeah.
And T.I. and all these type of people coming out and standing up for us. They're building banks. We're starting to understand that infrastructure might be a little bit better than luxury goods, like T-shirts and cool stuff like that. So we're starting to build banks. We're understanding what we need. We even got Dr. Umar out here telling us what to do. Now, Dr. Umar, I'm not. You don't make me confident enough to stand behind him, but the words, I can eat the meat and spit the bones.
I wouldn't put money in his Cash App for the school, but his words of wisdom does come in handy, though. Honestly,
right. I don't trust him with money, but what he's saying is so functionally sound.
Yeah. On top of that, that's going at even a smaller level. You got a lot of YouTubers out here, a lot of black YouTubers out here that are teaching people about finances and trying to get their money up, so that way they can get into big situations like this, trying to show you how to do ETFs, trying to show you how to build your Roth IRA, things of that nature.
Like the Wall Street Trapper, Earn Your Leisure podcast dudes, them guys.
Joshua Mayo.
That's
what I'm following right now. He's a really amazing YouTuber. Check out his work. Wall Street Trappers, you said, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys out here that in all different types of ways, trying to help us better our situation, whether it be personally or as a group as a whole. But I can agree with you with this one thing, though. We're gonna switch topics real quick. Mm-hmm. In order for us as a collective to build our situation to be the best way it could be, that way we could fight against, gun violence issues like this. In order for all of us to get to that point, we got to get there ourselves. That means we got to do the work within before we do the work outbound. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So yeah, once again, this episode is dedicated to everybody we lost in the gun shootings that we've been seeing. Prayers out to the families and the loved ones that's been going through this tough time. So,
hold on.
Put our heads up on that one.
One thing before we go.
Yeah.
One thing. You know what's going to change? What's going to make them actually start pushing harsher gun laws?
What's that?
If a lot more of us got more like Derek Grace and got guns, and when I say us,
us,
right? You know, the only time in history that the NRA has agreed on. Let me ask you: do you know what was happening the one time in our history that the NRA was actually themselves pushing for gun laws?
When we had guns?
Yes. when the Black Panthers exploited the laws of America to walk up on the state capitol of California, or to walk up on the Capitol building in California, standing there with their guns looking brolic, looking so awesome. And they were standing there with rifles and nobody could do anything about it. That's when we got stricter gun laws that was actually pushed by the NRA. So guess what? If the crazy part is, at this point in time, Black people are the only people that can save America from mass shootings.
Yeah. Now, whether we want to or not is a bigger fish to fry.
Right, because also with that same voice, Black people are the main set of people in America that should not be doing shit to give up our guns.
And here's the thing. That's why I say what I say when it comes down to like America or whatever. Like, I understand people could be like, "Oh, come to me," after when I said my "fuck Canada" statement. I could understand people say "fuck America," and I could be okay with it because America has been on some trash ass vibes for the past 4 centuries. So yes, I can be agreeable about that. But like, yeah, fuck America. I'll put you on that too. At the same breath, fuck Canada for what they do. You know what I'm saying? So either way, like, and we're gonna get into Canada in a minute. But before we get into that, I do want to get into the social moments portion of the show. So basically, with social moments, if you saw the last show, you already saw how we broke it down, and this show won't be any different. Basically, we're pulling up stuff. We're pulling up different posts, videos, clips that we came across during our research here, and then we're going to speak on it. We're going to talk about it. You know, good, bad, and the ugly. So right now, I think I sent you the clip for this particular situation. If you could, because the clip is like just have the sounds, but they also have the words on that too. If you could, since you are the guest, could you read the text that comes with the video?
Give me 1 second. We're gonna pull it up real style, bro.
Okay, so right in front of us right now, we got the video that we're gonna talk about right here. Let's shout out to Nico Lim TV. We're gonna definitely break this down and then, see what your thoughts is on it. So without further ado,
all right.
Boop. Showing up to the nice guys from high school's house as a broken single mom of 2, coming home to our brand new house as a happily married mom of 3. So basically, the text, it kind of made it a little bit more clearer. So Nico Lim TV states, and I quote, "I used to tell my mom I would never date a nice guy. She was baffled. Honestly, I didn't understand it much myself, other than claiming, quote, they're boring. Truth is, I didn't think a nice guy could really handle me and all of my quote unquote baggage. And beyond that, I had grown really used to the chaos of toxic men. The highs and lows of a chaotic relationship can be a hard cycle to break free from. I get girls always asking how I was able to finally let go. And I think it's a lot more about finding a deep love for yourself than letting go. I was working my ass off, had my own home, took great care of my kids, and was still getting treated terribly. I had an epiphany moment where I just felt that I could treat myself better and be happier alone than I was in that relationship. And from that day forward, I've never looked back. Then I went on my first date with Kyle, nervous as all get out, and it was the best decision I've ever made. My mind, body, and soul has been treated with nothing but love and respect ever since, and it is truly the biggest blessing ever. Hashtag relationship goals, hashtag mom life, hashtag blah, blah, blah. End quote. So initial thoughts. How do you want to lead with this one?
Man.
Let's click.
Oh, man. So when I hear stuff like this, and I just think about who I am and what I've been through in my life. I was always the person like when it comes to just dating. Even to this day, people still look at me as the nice guy, you know? And the thing is, that's not really something I want to change. Like, if you view me as a nice guy, it's probably because I was nice to you. You feel me? What I did add to that little, formula is the thing that people don't understand. See, there's two things, right? The world has gotten so toxic and so twisted that when women hear the term nice guy, they automatically think about a guy who's only being nice to them because he wants some coochie. Right or wrong?
That's true. Right? That's true.
Right. So when I'm nice to certain people, I can see there's a pullback. There's they don't understand. They're confused. Things like this. Oh, why are you treating me so well? I've been asked that. Why are you treating me so well? Meanwhile, personally, I'm just like, oh, I'm not treating you all that well. Like we could be in a situation where we're talking or things like that. I'm not treating you all that well. I'm treating you with what I consider to be a basic modicum of respect, right? Because the way I operate, I don't want to deal with anybody who doesn't, at the very least, meet the basics of what respect is, right? Once we're not there anymore, then that's not going to happen. What I am, though, I consider myself to be a very, very nice person, but I just have boundaries now. I understand, because when these girls are going through that I love toxic niggas phase, count yourself blessed if you're a nice dude. If you're not out here trying to slay everything just for the sake of slaying everything. If you're a nice person, count yourself blessed, because you are dodging bullets. Here's what you're dodging, sir. You're dodging herself being toxic because she can't stand the level of freaking consistency and stillness that you bring. So she's going to start doing stuff. She's going to look around. Like this woman here said, I thought they were boring. I like the chaos. So if you don't bring chaos, if you bring calm, she's going to be the one that wants to bring the chaos. If she didn't go for you, count yourself blessed. If you're like me and you really don't have any intentions of taking care of another man's children, right? And this is no hate or anything like that. I kept myself out of the having children's market, right? For a reason. Because when I do it, I personally want to do it in a way that I consider to be order, right? Meet the girl. Like the girl, have the chemistry, understand that we're compatible, make a commitment to be with this person, and then have a child, which is the glue of that commitment, right? Because once you have a child, there is no going back. None. You are linked intrinsically to this person for the rest of your entire being.
And it's no matter if you hate them or whatever happened with their relationship. And you know what? Things do happen. Whether you've been together for 5 months or for 50 years, things do happen. But at the same time, you still got to take care of that kid. This is why people are really, now more than ever, are being real selective about their kids and why semen retention is a big fucking deal nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's my thing. Not to cut you off, but I kind of got heated, and we guys gonna get into it. Like, you know, I see certain things. I see situations like this, right? And I always say, like, you never want to play. Me personally, and take this with a grade, take this how you want, but I never will see myself taking care of another dude's kids, mainly because it's just like playing the save game of WWE 2K22.
What you know what I'm saying?
Like, I'm not gonna sit here and play 2K, leave, and then have my bros come and play that game up behind me. You feel me? Or I'm not gonna play the game up behind them. Granted, you know, I've dated similar, you know, ladies around that same stretch, but I'm not raising any kids. Like, come on, bro, that's crazy. Now, for the dudes that do, to each their own, because there are dudes out here that will be willing to sit there and pick up snacks for the kids when they go on a first date. You know, there are those guys that sit there and will take let's take their step kid out to get their hair cut, or take their stepdaughter out to sit there for outings and things like that. More power to you guys. This is not a knock on that group of men. Right.
I'm just saying, those kids, they need that stability that you're gonna bring.
Yeah.
So no, I appreciate. If you're that type of dude, don't think we trying to play you, because we're not. Because sometimes you just happen to fall for the woman who has kids. That's life.
And as you get older, you typically come across more women that have kids than more women that don't. It's just statistical anomaly, you know? At the same point, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me personally, if I pulled up on you in high school, right? And I told you, like, hey, I'm feeling you. I want to take you out. I want you to be my lady, right? And you told me no, right? If you told me no in 2006, that no still stands in 2026. It does. That no still stands in 2026. That no stood in 2016. That no stands in 2036. Like, all of the sixes. That no is a no forever. And the reason why is a no forever, because when I was down, typically when you're asking somebody out in high school or in college, more often than not, you broke. You not looking the best. You got acne issues. You on puberty. You don't smell the best. You know what I'm saying?
All it's facts.
So you, and you're most rugged.
I'm smelling the best. I smell good in high school.
I smelled that. I'll say this. I don't smell this. I didn't smell as good in high school like I smell now.
No, my grandmother like kept making me like wear colognes and things. She made sure like I'd smell good. And plus I didn't want to be, because I didn't want to be the you know, the nerd that stinks. Like, you can't have two things against you, bro.
Well, nah, like for me personally, like my dad tried to get me like into colognes at the young age, but I was so fixated on like Axe because it cost less. You know what I'm saying? So that was my fault. I was a little hard-headed. So I was the type of dude who sold CDs and Axe out my locker. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
And that's what it was. Because trust believe, I wasn't the only one that, you know, that might have smelled right after 8th period gym. You feel me? So that's what it was. So now in high school, we taking our little ripe asses over to ask like the real cute looking shorties out. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so, we get promptly told to pack it the fuck up and head your ass back to class. You know, at least for me, I know for a fact I've been told to pack it up a few times in my life during high school. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that was that. But after a certain point in time, you know, we get older, we start getting a little bit more money, we start doing better for ourselves, you know, and we start learning, and then most importantly, we start learning our value, right?
Right.
So in the midst of us learning our value, you know, sometimes those old things tend to come right back. You know what I'm saying? And you know, time might have not been very good for them. You know what I'm saying? So
Most
that
likely.
that does happen. You know, I'm just saying for me, you pull up on me in 2026 talking about, oh hey big head, what
Hey
the bro?
stranger,
Yeah, right.
the little waving emoji.
Yeah, the little two eyes emoji. You feel me? Like, well, I'm gonna be like, yo, bro, what you looking at? You know what I'm saying? Like, for me personally, if I see that after I remember you turning me all the way, hell, you could have turned me down when I was promoting that Taj, and I'm dancing in the club trying to dance up on you. You like, nah, but then you see me on my Facebook, you know, doing big things and things like that, and now you like, oh, I can't hit you up, I can't do this that. I'm gonna be like, nah, bitch, I'm up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. We up. So yeah, fellas.
Because we up right now.
That's it. So, fellas, what I will say to you is this. If I was to impart any King Talk gems in this episode here is one. Make sure, like, even though your value may not be up during your high school phases or even in your college phases, when you're starting to get to the bag, and you're starting to know your own value and your own self-worth, don't sell that shit for less. Don't sell that shit for less, and damn sure don't sell it for a lady that turned you down when you were at your darkest, or at your brokest, or at your dustiestness, if that's such a word.
Right.
Dustiness. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, if she can't take you at your dusty, she can't take you when you got cleaned up. That's it. And listen, just to be fair to the other side, right? Nobody has to want a dusty dude, right? Nobody ever has to want a dusty dude with very immature values, who don't take care of himself, who's not in a place where he's doing the best love of himself and following purpose. Nobody ever has to give you a chance if you're like that. Nobody, right?
That's true. If you dusty, you got to figure out why you dusty.
You got to undust,
fix yourself
right?
Up. Yeah,
you got to get that dust buster, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, if somebody comes into your life, and they like you for you genuinely, and they're not focused on what they can get out of you, they focused on you yourself, that person is a keeper. On the other side of that coin, if you get somebody who went out of their way to cock over and take a shit on you when you were in these phases, if they hit you with that hey big head, you have all rights. I mean, all rights to go ham. I want you to cut her ass. I want you to tell her to, Sands, you gotta say it,
pack it the fuck up.
That shit up out of here.
Out of there.
What are you doing? You trying to come back to me when you bald headed with 6 kids and a fat ass belly? No.
Talking about hey big head.
Trying to come back to me after you done had a crack problem and now you missing 3 teeth and you have 6 hairs on your head? No.
So can I want to share a quick, while I'm here before we get into King Talk final thoughts. I want to share a quick story time real quick. Story time with Aaron Sands real quick. All right.
Everybody gather around.
All right. So basically, right, I was in my thought years, right? The time around 2013 and 2015. The place, every club YPG ever promoted at, right? So basically, as you may have known, I was out and about in these streets during this particular time period, and honestly, I did have a lot of ladies try to pull up on me, right? Mm-hmm. But I always had eyes for a couple of ladies, so I'm not naming this one. This one shall not be named. But if you're, for those that we're podding with, if you know, you know. I try to pull up on multiple occasions, right? Not every time, but every now and again, I'd be like, hey, so what's good? What's good? What's good with us? Da da da. It was a nah. It was a dog. It was a oh nah. I got a dude. Oh no, I gotta watch the kid. Oh no, what will our friends think? All this other bullshit that was not, proper. Now, at this point in time, I was getting a little bit of money. but I wasn't getting as much money as I'm getting now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or as the time of the second hit up. So to be fair, as I was working on being my best self, learning my worth, learning what I can provide to a situation if I ever had, if it ever came down to it, I'm starting to learn. I was starting to learn more about myself and learn about what I was willing to put up with, what I wasn't willing to put up with. Fast forward a few years later, I'm in a healthy relationship. I'm out here taking trips. You know what I'm saying? All of these trips are being posted all over the social sites. People know what's good, what I'm doing out here. So much so that while I was at, one of these excursions, I come out and say it. I was out in Mexico, right? Mm-hmm. I Playa del Carmen, Fifth Avenue, over on Playa del Carmen. And for those that don't know, that's really a big, a pretty jumping area in Mexico. You get all the clubs there, you get all the shopping arrangements there. And it was funny because I was actually at a venue in Mexico when I got this text talking about like, oh, maybe you should come down to Tonic with us. Come down to Tonic with us. You know what I'm saying? And I knew what it was because I know when I'm in Tonic, I know there's ways, at least from the last time I went, people could successfully smash up in there. You know what I'm saying? Successfully. Have I done it? No. But I know that it could very well be done. So when I got this smash invitation, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a tempting offer. But at the same time, dude's been trying to smash from early 2010s. You know what I'm saying? And now you see me out here, I'm up, I'm getting to this bag, I'm doing what I gotta do, I'm in a healthy relationship, doing what I gotta do, As I'm doing this, I get hit with this text. I'm like, bro, first of all, 1, I'm up. 2, I'm in a relationship. 3, I'm in Mexico turning the fuck up, living my best life. But I definitely hope you're doing well. Bro, to this day, we have not spoke. Because after a certain point in time, it's like, I bet when you're up, you know what I'm saying? When you get to that point where you're not dusty, when you're not in somebody's club sweating your shirt off, you feel me? Like, you're not coming across wild thirsty, is when, the attraction seeks more. And that's when I sharply deny, because I'm doing way better now than I was then, and you ain't want that then. So don't try to slide me up in somebody's bathroom when we too good for that in Mexico turning up. So, moral of the story, make sure, you're on your purpose, you're on your square. That way you could be able to sit there and turn down the way that I turned down, and the way that you could potentially turn down when you're actually up. Mal, you got any last words before you hit King Talk Thoughts?
My last words is basically just gonna piggyback on you. Listen, ladies, you have the right to choose whoever you want to be with, but try to choose on principles other than just bare by itself hypergamy. Let's try to choose in ways against that, because it always almost invariably leads to situations like this, where now somebody's in a different plane in life. Now you want to check for them, but they remember when, they remember when things wasn't the same way. What my boy Mike Jones said? Back then you ain't want me, now I'm hot. You're all on me. Do you really want to be the subject of that song?
Yeah. And it's the worst. It's the worst part of it, because it's like, all right, bet. In some cases, for certain dudes, it will work for it. You know what I'm saying? And salute to them. You better men than us, because we won't. You know what I'm saying? But for me, we not going down that route. That's not us. You know what I'm saying? So you trying to stay on your square, try to be the best you, aim for the best that you can get, because now you're in a space that you can do so. So that's where we at on that. And finally, we're getting into King Talk Final Thoughts. All right. So there's been a lot going on in the podcasting world lately. You know what I'm saying? And I had this interesting tidbit land on my desk not too long ago, a little bit, maybe a few days before I actually started, doing prep for this particular special. I'm not shout out to the homie Ken the Gentleman, the executive producer for this podcast. He basically brought this to my attention from another podcaster that we won't name because we're not trying to give clout to those who try to down us. Basically, when it comes down to that, I knew there was some issues in regards to certain situations where one podcaster claimed that oh well, he was getting money and he was doing a show and I had the original idea for that show, things like that, and he actually did an episode on his podcast regarding that. And I heard some of the pod, but I didn't hear all of it because for some reason on Spotify it doesn't play. Maybe it plays on good pods, I don't know. But apparently, and I have a list, of what he said regarding, our brother Ken the Gentleman. He said apparently he threw a sub, about his speech. Come on, really?
Low hanging fruit.
Exactly. Then he took another shot saying that he unfollowed him on social media, which really was the main reason he unfollowed him was because the podcaster unfollowed Premier Voice Podcast, and honestly, we don't need that negativity, in our type of lives. Like I said before, while they hate, we elevate. And apparently he said that we were mad because of the charts, talking about that his show was doing better than Premier Voice Podcast and that the shows are bad, but basically just being a trash individual and just, basically being a trash individual and then just spending a whole episode critiquing our stuff, I'll say this and then I'll let you have the floor on this one. Basically, the craziest thing about this whole situation is that we actually bigged him up on one of the Premier Boys episodes. He was one of the podcasters we named along with High Tea, along with Wet Lounge, along with Jock Johnson, along with Weird Ones that are actually doing good podcasts.
I said talk about him.
Yeah, we brought that up. We brought him up in the space with other great podcasters doing their things. I've actually got on Premier Boys saying that if there's anyone I want to go back and forth with the ones and the twos on in terms of best podcasts in a certain genre, it would be, that podcast. They come on Sunday nights, you know what I'm saying? And I would want to, be able to go back and forth and potentially maybe even have him on the pod, Right. But then seeing this now, I'm like, it's a lesson, It's a lesson, and for me, like I said this season at the last special, I'm not gonna beef because I feel like not only myself, but my cohorts, and my brothers in the podcasting industry, like we spent a lot of our second seasons beefing with another certain podcaster that
yeah, he does count as a podcaster.
Yeah, so we spent that time beefing, and in that time we haven't really, we lost focus on what we were trying to do. And this time around, we're not really trying to lose focus. We're going to try to keep elevating. But I have to really speak on it because of the fact that from what I'm hearing, it seems like sour grapes. Seems like Sunday night sour grapes. You know what I'm saying? And it really is sour grapes because at the time, whenever we're putting out new episodes, we're typically number one for a long stretch of time. You know, we excel in our views. But I will say this, we excel in our views. We get more views when we shoot than him. We get more reactions than we do for him. We get more monetary gain than we do from him. Then we get more haircuts than he does. We get more we get more ladies. You know what I'm saying? Like come on. You know, I really try not to downplay Canada, but bro, you're in Canada. You know what I'm saying? You can't come down here and talk about podcasting when you're sour, that's your number 2. How about, this is just for all podcasters around. Instead of trying to find ways to sit there and down other podcasters because you're not getting the views that you used to before we came on the scene, how about going back to the drawing board and seeing what's really going on with your situation, that that you can find a way to make it more palatable to other audiences, because right now you're just coming off like a sore loser, and last time I checked, we're adults, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to come harder than that, you know what I'm saying? Last time I checked, a butterfly and a bumblebee never got up into it because of the lack of airspace.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
that was some knowledge you just dropped. They ain't hear you though.
I'll say it again. A butterfly and a bumblebee never get into it over the lack of airspace to fly in. All right. There's enough money, there's enough views out here for everybody to prosper and be great and get seen. But you're over here beefing with us because you're our favorite number 2. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, I can't I can't be mad about it. But, I could be like, you know what? That's your view. I can respect it. I respect it. I don't have to agree because we already know where we are. But I can respect that view. All at the same time understanding that you're the 2s. But we the 1s.
We the 1s, baby.
Alvin, you got any last thoughts before we roll up out here regarding this?
Well, this will be the last time I speak on it, but I got the promo mic out. I gotta say something on this, because I don't think anybody realizes how much I care for my bros. Like, I've literally gotten into fights over you guys. And I'm not saying that to hold it over you. It's like that y'all are like family to me.
And honestly, if we would have took them bows too.
I know. See, that's the thing. I don't even doubt that. Right? My main point is, listen to you. Ooh, all right, this goes out to Ken Owens. All right? This goes out to Ken Owens. Out here, dude, I don't know who you think you are. I don't know where you think you come from. I need you to do us all a favor. I need you to go outside. Yeah, actually go outside into the sun. Yeah, it's starting to become summer out there in Canada. I need you to go out into the sun. I need you to look down. I need you to reach down. I don't know if you can reach down. You don't seem like you can stretch very well. So kneel down if you need to. And I need you to touch some grass, bro. You spend 40 minutes whining about other people that you could have dedicated to a whole new topic. You could have enlightened a group of people on something. You could have attracted some new followers. You could have attracted some people that wanted to hear something positive. You could have attracted some people that wanted to hear something that you have a level of expertise in. But no, you spent 40 minutes whining and crying about somebody who unfriended you after you unfriended them. Are we 16? Move up, my guy. Move up. We done that. Listen, Y'all know me. Once I get the mic in my hand, I can go crazy with it. I can get crazy. But we ain't going to get too crazy on y'all this time because my boys, they said they want positivity, peace, and chicken grease. So we about to be like the new day. We're going to inspire, we're going to influence, and we're going to grow with the power of positivity. But you, Ken, you done walked into Xavier Woods and it's...
Hit him with the backwards, bro.
Well, let's just say it like this. Let's put it like this. You done walked into Xavier Woods, and all you gonna do is get your podcast in a position where ain't nothing to do left but turn the page.
This is another episode, Road to Season 3 special of King Talk with Aaron Sands. You can find me on Instagram, Aaron Sands Premiere. Link is in the description. You already know where to find me. Taj Best Saturday Nightclub, as I stated before, 48 West 21st Street. You know, between 5th and 6th Ave. Say Premiere at the door. We back at it yet again. You already know we got the bridge coming up. I'll let Alvin speak on that right about now. Also, we got Premiere Boys Season 3 coming up, TBD. Once we get word on that, we'll definitely, put that out, and then you guys be able to check on that. Alvin, your time. Let's get it.
All right, we're going to talk about it till we talk about it. Here's the thing, right? First and foremost, without a shadow of a doubt, thank you so much, Sands, King Talk, Sands. My God, the master plan. Yeah, we go back that far. I want to thank you so much for always inviting me on the show, always giving me ample space to talk and flesh out ideas, always respecting, the energy, always loving me enough to show me some love and have me on the show. You have no idea how much I appreciate that, how much I appreciate being on such a good, magnanimous, amazing show with consistency. So I appreciate you to death. We're going to talk about me though, right? Listen, guys, ladies and gentlemen out there, yes, you heard him right. The bridge is coming. We have the official release date for 6/15. Yes, 6/15. Yes, we're going right almost to the summer. We are June 15th. We are debuting the bridge. It's going to be me, the chief. They call me Malimal, the man. With my guys who make up the bridge, 21 Kyle, the Sauce King, and the Grand Shinobi himself, Mr. Hassani Noel. And we're gonna be bringing you topics of everything. You like to hear about anime, you want to listen to this. You like to hear about finances, you want to listen to this. You want to hear three young, intelligent brothers from different walks of life speaking on topics in different walks of life with a new perspective, but not a domineering perspective, but a real perspective from different angles. We got people from England, we got people from Grenada, we got different angles of energy coming at y'all. And all we want to do, we want to pick subjects and we want to bridge that gap. We want to bring the old and the young back together. We want to bring the man and the woman back together. It's all about bridging the gap, hence the name. So remember what I said, June 15th, we are debuting the bridge, and we're coming right this summer. I'm back on my music. My first love, the 40th MC, is coming to you live right now. So you will get 2 projects from me this summer. I need you to look out for the first one at the top of August, right? So understand this, we are working this season. The bridge, not gonna have no breaks, right? We got special events that's coming up at the end of August. We're trying to bring that robe call back, baby. Robe call volume 2. So all my old school robe heads, if you went to robe the year that the robe was in mixtape came out, I need you. We need you. We're gonna do a big charity event for the kids, but we need you first. So I will be jumping in your inboxes. I will be talking to you. Please be available. With that being said, follow me on everything. They call me Malimal on everything. You can even Google me, baby. I'm not going to insult your intelligence and tell you how to spell they, call, or me, but I will tell you how to spell my name. So Malimal is M-A-L-I-M-A-L. It's just like that. And with that, I'll swing it back to you, King Talk.
You already know what it is. You want to check out Aaron Sands Premiere for all updates regarding future, not only guest spots, but also future Road to Season 3 King Talk specials. King Talk Season 3 season premiere is on September 23rd. That's 9/23. We getting shit. We about to get shit jumping back again. But in the meantime, please enjoy these specials. I want to thank long live the chief, the tribal chief, Malimal, for jumping on and stopping by real quick. You know what I'm saying? Just, really breaking down these topics. Look, at the end of the day, we all want to get to a higher, a better place in our lives, but we don't do that until we work on ourselves first. And then when you work on yourself first, work with other people to build that new foundation, so that way you can have a foundation to build for your family. But before you even get to the family, it starts with you first. Please stay hydrated, and you already know, if it's Fridays, then it's King Talk. We up out of here. Hey, what up? It's your boy Aaron Sands, and I know you're enjoying this episode of King Talk right now, but I want to dive in a little bit and talk about the Premier Boys podcast. You got me, Aaron Sands, Ken the Gentleman, the homie Roddy Rod, and long live the Chief Malimal, all in the building, talking about the hottest entertainment topics, the hottest news topics, and giving our own take on what's going on out here in these streets. It can get raunchy. It could get crazy. You might even be talking about somebody's mama. Who knows? But every Wednesday at midnight, check us out on Apple, Good Pods. Don't forget to drop that 5-star rating, and all wherever else you hear your podcast. Now back to the show, man.
What's up, world? This is the Chief Malimal, long live the Chief, and you're tuned into King Talk with Mr. Aaron Sands. Don't go nowhere, baby.